Hello and welcome to the Mansfield Town Shirts YouTube channel, where today we are going to be ranking every League One stadium. As with my previous couple of videos, which were controversial to some fan bases, I'm sure there will be some that agree with me and some that don't. Please let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. Like and subscribe as well. Let's get into the video. So we are going to be ranking these grounds from 24th all the way through to 1st, including Mansfield Town, of course, who will be in there as well. Let's get into that video, and I'm sorry, Luton Town fans, you're up first. So then, starting with Luton Town at the bottom of this list. I'm sorry, Luton fans. I know you've had the glitz and the glamour of the Premier League a couple of seasons ago, but you are back down with Mansfield. We spent a lot of time in non-league together, and we are back together again. Your ground, it's not necessarily a problem with the ground. The area that it's in is horrific. It's not a pleasant place. The ground itself, getting in and out, isn't very pleasant. The view isn't particularly great. And I'm not just a fan of the modern stadiums, as you'll see from this list. It's not necessarily all about the modern stadiums, but yours is not somewhere that anyone really wants to go back to. So for that reason, you're bottom of the list. Sorry. Moving on then to second bottom and Burton Albion. Now you might look at Luton's ground and then look at this one and go, well, why is this one higher up the list, albeit only slightly? It's just a more pleasant experience. The view's better. It's a smaller stadium. It's perfect for the club. It's located in an area where you can actually park and leave your car without it getting stolen, and it's just a general more pleasant experience in Luton. So albeit it's not really anything great to look at, it serves a purpose, and for me it's higher up on this list than Luton, albeit still quite near the bottom. Up next then is Stevenage, third bottom. It's a nice ground, Stevenage. I have no issues with it. It's on the small side, but there's ample parking across the road and a few restaurants nearby, which we sampled this year with Mansfield in the FA Cup. But yeah, it's not really that inspiring, and like I say, a little bit on the small side. Facilities were a bit of a pain for walking the away end. It was a bit of a way to walk, but yeah, not really a lot to say about Stevenage. Third bottom, but you know, not great, not terrible. Up next then is Exeter and St James's Park. It's definitely got character to it, which is why it's not lower down. It's a bit quirky. All four ends very different in look. You've got the one on the side that doesn't even stretch the full length of the pitch, so it's a little bit odd in that sense. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a lower size stadium in this league, but it does its job, and you know, good atmosphere down there as well. Bit of a trek for most. But yeah, Exeter 21st in this list. Fifth bottom in this list, 20th, is Lincoln City. Again, a little bit of an oddity with the stand that only takes up a small portion of one of the sides. I'm sure someone will tell me in the comments why that is and why it doesn't go all the way along. The away end's okay. The facilities are pretty terrible, or certainly were on my last visit. But yeah, it's pretty average, to be honest, isn't it? It's nothing too exciting. One thing I will say is the atmosphere there is very, very good. Some of the best set of home fans that I've certainly experienced as a Mansfield fan, so credit to them for that, but the ground just isn't very exciting. Slightly ahead of Lincoln is Northampton. Now, I berated your away support in my away fans video, ranking video. If you haven't seen that, there is a link in the description. It did upset some Cobblers fans, but your ground is nice. I like your ground. It's not, huge, but it's easy enough to get to. The view is good. I know they had one side that wasn't quite finished. I believe it's maybe finished now, or certainly nearly finished. The away end is decent, and yeah, it's overall it's an average, decent ground. Obviously in League One there are a lot bigger grounds than this, but it does a job, and it certainly isn't the few worst in the league. But yeah, it sits in 19th. In 18th then is Peterborough, which has a considerable numbers advantage on the last couple we've looked at, but is in places slightly run down. The view isn't always perfect. Some of the stands are nice, the more modern ones, but yeah, some of the old ones are looking like they've a little bit worse for wear. So it's a nice ground overall. It obviously needs a little bit of work doing to it, but yeah, 18th in this list. 17th then is Wickham, which is in a very nice location, surrounded by trees, rather than in the middle of plonked in the middle of a housing estate. I've not been to Wickham, so I am going on the opinion of other Mansfield fans here that I've spoken to, and it's a nice ground. Some stands bigger than others, but overall it's a nice average League One ground, and that kind of reflects where it's sat in this list. So no issues with Wickham, and hopefully I'd I'd like to get there this season. As with every video we do, I would like to say thank you to those who have liked the previous videos, who have commented on them. I really do like reading and do reply to all the comments as well, so it's really nice to get your opinion. And also to those who have subscribed as well. We're very close to 600, so if you haven't subscribed, if you could subscribe, it would mean the world. Back to the video. So playoff winners, Wimbledon up next, up into League One, and it's a nice ground. It really is. It's obviously new, replaced their old one, and it's a lovely design. The issue I have with Wimbledon, it's horrific to get to. The traffic around there is awful. You can't park. The bus has barely parked on my last visit. You couldn't get the supporters bus down the side. It wasn't very well organised. Once you're in there, though, it's a really nice, classy ground. And yeah, it's marred by the access, which just seems to be put in the worst possible location. But the ground itself and sort of the features of it and the architectural features is actually quite a nice stadium. Up next, in 15th place, is Edgeley Park, the home of Stockport County, and it's a nice stadium. Very similar in terms of capacity to a few of the others in this list, maybe a little bit higher than others. It's a nice ground. Mansfield fans like going there because we seemingly, and certainly in modern times, tend to win there. Hopefully that's the case again this season. But yeah, it's a nice ground. Obviously one of the older ones, one of the older stadiums. Some of the stands reflect that. But I think in terms of an older ground that's got character, I do like Stockport. Yeah, it's a nice stadium, and they've got a lot of works going on to it. Fair play to Stockport. The investment in that club is significant, and they've rose up through the ranks. You know, it is a real fairy tale story compared to some of the Hollywood stories you see talked about a lot. So fair play to them, and maybe when they've done the improvements, they'll be a lot higher up this list. But 15th for now. In 14th then is the home of football. Certainly in my humble opinion, certainly of my supportership, is the One Call Stadium, Field Mill, the home of Mansfield Town. And the only thing that holds this stadium back is the fact that it's got 3 sides. It now will have 4. The 4th side is almost finished. We're being told it will be open for the new season. Had we not have done that, I think I couldn't really be justified in putting us this high up. I think we would have been below a significant number of other teams. But we're back to having the 4 sides again. The capacity, of course, will increase. I think the views are great. Access in and around the stadium is fine. The facilities are fine. Parking could be better. Even as a home fan, parking isn't great, but they're improving sort of the facilities around the ground with the marquee and the new club shop and things like that. We've got the paddleball next door as well. So things are getting slightly improved at the One Call. But yeah, I think that's reflective of where I think they are. A few maybe non-biased opinions might put them slightly lower, but yeah, for me it's a mid-table League One ground for now. Up next is Leyton Orient, a really nice ground. Leyton Orient, I really do like their stadium. I think it's well designed. It's lovely. You get good views everywhere, pretty much. Obviously, I know you've got a few of the columns in one of the stands, but in general, I think it's a really nice ground. It's slightly bigger than some of the others, so hence why it sort of makes its way a little bit higher. But yeah, a really nice ground, Leyton Orient. I think they've done a good job with it. Seems like there is some modernisation that still could be done, but yeah, overall, it's a really nice League One stadium. Port Vale then in 12th, and it's a really big stadium, good capacity, really high capacity. Some of the views in the away end, which I think they might move the away end, but when I last went, I think it was 21-22, the view wasn't that good. Certainly if the ball went up in the air, it sort of disappeared. But it's a really large stadium, and it really is a loud stadium when it's full as well. So I think it's also quite unique. It's got a lot of character in terms of how you access from sort of lower down, and there's ample parking around, which makes it as an away fan a more attractive proposition to get to. But yeah, all in all, Port Vale is a lovely stadium, and a lot of character, and one of the older stadiums that really still stands up to modern football. Blackpool into 11th then, a high capacity, certainly the highest that we've seen on this list so far. The one thing that let Blackpool down this year, and I went this year to the thrilling 3-3 draw that we shared this season, was there was one set of toilets open down one end, and it took me all of half time and a couple of minutes into the second half. I left bang on the half time whistle to get back to my seat. It was horrific, and I didn't buy anything. I didn't go for a drink or food or anything. It was horrific. How that was allowed, the exit to get out as well took a good 20 minutes to get out. I know we'd sold out, but they only had one door open. Even the stewards were saying they don't know how this is happening. If this was anywhere else, they'd have shut that bit down. So there's a lot of improvement that needs doing there. But the rest of the three sides, the hotel, the shop and everything, really good. Again, it's not necessarily the nicest area of Blackpool, but where the stadium is, you've got hotels opposite, which I've stayed in as well. So it's probably that one stand from being sorted away from being a bit higher up in this list, but for now it's 11th. Bradford then into the top 10. A really high capacity with Bradford. I mean, the two stands that you can see in the photo there are incredible, aren't they? They're some of the best in the country. Clearly, they couldn't have that on all four sides, maybe due to room or whatever, or money. But if they did, it would be one of the best stadiums in the country. It's a fantastic older ground. I know they've obviously had a lot of redevelopments done. The away end, or the away section, the corner, whatever, or if you end up behind the back of the goal, is a bit ropey. But I think certainly for Mansfield fans, it's one of our favourite grounds to visit. The area around it isn't too great, but there are bits of off-street parking and factories or whatever that open up, so it's not too bad to get to. But yeah, so it's a lovely ground, and I think a lot of people will be pleased that it's back in League One. Plymouth in ninth. They've had a lot of work done to Plymouth at Home Park, and it's looking great. It's a lovely part of the world as well. You've got the parking outside. It's sort of more modernised than it ever was. And it's really loud. They really do fill that stadium up, and hopefully we'll get to experience that as Mansfield this season in League One. Hopefully it's not on a Tuesday night, because I won't be going on a Tuesday night. But yeah, it's a nice ground, and deserves for me to be in the top 10. In 8th then is the New York Stadium, and Rotherham couldn't be further from New York, could it? We've all been there. But the stadium itself is nice. It's something that I'd like to see Mansfield aspire to. I know people go, the soulless bowls and the new stadiums or whatever, but it's the slight angle to it makes it a little bit less sort of empty. It gives it a little bit of character, and I like it. It's really easy to walk all the way around. There's ample room. You've got bits of parking just outside the ground. So for me, Rotherham is they've done a good job of the stadium. It's perfect for the size of the club, and it's something that probably clubs like Mansfield should be looking to aspire to a stadium like that. So yeah, I like Rotherham and enjoy going. It helps that it's down the road as well, but yeah, nice stadium, Rotherham. In 7th place is a ground with a lot of character, one that I got the pleasure of going to last season. This is the photo that I took on the first game of the season last season, and it was great. So really, it's got a lot of character to it. Some of the stands are very old, certainly the one you can see on the right hand side there. I don't believe that top section was open at the time. I don't know whether it does open, but it certainly wasn't, I don't believe, when Mansfield were there. And a really nice ground. It does feel like it feels like a championship ground. I know it's had Premiership football as well. So yeah, a really nice ground, and certainly one of the best ones in League One without a shadow of a doubt. This might upset some Barnsley fans, might it? Thinking, why is this bowl above us of our characterful ground? But I like Donny. Again, it's an example of a ground that clubs like Mansfield should be aspiring to, and it is loud when it's full. I mean, every time Mansfield go there, we tend to win, and it's never full. But certainly with the promotion, winning the league, hopefully it will be full in League One, and it is a reasonably loud stadium as well. They've done a good job of designing that. The fact that there's parking everywhere, albeit it's horrific to get out of those car parks. Certainly the one that I bloody parked in last time. But you access all the way around, great facilities. Yeah, for me, it's one of the better grounds in League One, certainly. This is where it starts to get interesting and maybe a little bit contentious to some, but Huddersfield is a lovely ground. This season, parking was a nightmare, but anyway, by the by, ended up parking in a car wash. It's a great stadium. It's one of the best looking stadiums, without a shadow of a doubt. Good views everywhere as well. This could have gone a lot higher, but it ended up in 5th place because there's some really good stadiums in League One, as you'll see very shortly. But very well designed, iconic really from the outside, certainly, and a really lovely ground, and one that Huddersfield should definitely be proud of. And as I didn't really look out of place in the Premier League, did it? Not so long ago. Certainly looks out of place in League One. So yeah, Huddersfield, you're in 5th, but it's a really nice ground. They might be upset by Wigan in 4th. Sorry if you are, but I really like the Wigan's ground. We went there on a Tuesday night. Photo was taken by me this season as we won there, which helped. But I thought it was a really nice ground, Wigan. I thought everything was really well set up. It was easy to get to. It was easy to park outside. The food was great, and it was a really nice stadium. Maybe I'm slightly biased because we won, and that made my trip a little bit more enjoyable. But and they didn't have a lot of fans in it, but I imagine when full it would be a loud stadium. I didn't rate much their fans this season, but the ground itself is lovely, and I don't think you can take away from the ground. One of the best ones, certainly in League One, and doesn't look out of place a lot higher up the football pyramid. In third place then, the bronze medal position, and maybe what's let you down, Bolton, is the fact that I haven't been. I've always been unavailable on the games that we've played you, and we played you I think twice last season. So I do apologise. Maybe that's altered my mindset. But it's a really nice ground. It's a Premier League quality ground, as are the next three. But yeah, Bolton it's a superb stadium, iconic looking as well from the outside, and absolutely one of the best ones in this league by a country mile, and big capacity as well, and loud when full, and Bolton have a tremendous support. So third place for Bolton. So then we move on to second place, and Bolton fans might not agree with this, and a lot of fans might not agree with this, but I really enjoyed my trip to Reading this year, and I thought it was a great ground. Premier League pedigree, of course, certainly much better than League One. Good capacity, same as Bolton, or similar to Bolton. Bolton's got more, 4,000 more, I think. But yeah, good capacity, certainly for this level, and I really enjoyed it. Lots of parking around. It was really easy to get to, lots of things to walk around. Around the stadium, and yeah, I really enjoyed the view. I thought the seats were excellent, everything was great, and yeah, really enjoyed it. But it does miss out on the number one spot. But yeah, really nice ground, Reading, for this level, without doubt. Which leaves our number one, and maybe no surprises. It's the highest in capacity. It's an international stadium, or certainly has held a lot of international football, and it's a tremendous stadium, certainly for League One. Cardiff absolutely would not want to win this prize. They wouldn't want to be the best ground in League One. It's one of the better ones in the Championship, I would say, as well. But yeah, it's certainly one of the best in League One, and I really do look forward to visiting this season. The Stags played there before in the FA Cup a number of years ago, but yeah, looking forward to our visit this season, and for me, a well-deserved first place for Cardiff City. So that concludes the video where we have reviewed and ranked every single League One stadium for the upcoming 25-26 season. If you've agreed or disagreed, let me know in the comments. I do love reading your comments, even though there was a lot of angry Birmingham fans in the last video. If you could let me know whether you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. Like the video as well. It really does mean a lot if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel as well. We're very close to 600 subscribers, which is incredible considering where we were just a month ago. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.